my notes. We back in business. Some people just need a journal. You just need a diary. It's like, if I really posted every single thing that made me upset, that would not be a happy place. I probably wouldn't want to follow me because and I'm pretty sure the people that have it most severely are not bragging about it in the Black community. That if your basic human needs are being met, food, water, and shelter, you should be fine. And if that's not the case, you are being ungrateful or disrespectful. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christian, and if you're looking for raw, real, and relatable content, stay tuned and subscribe if you want. So the topic of today's video is mental health chat. We need to talk. Depression, anxiety, and millennials. Today is also a deep condition and chat episode. You guys are gonna be shook when I take this t-shirt off and you see how long my hair is in comparison to our first deep condition and chat. As the generations progress, we'll get better with actually letting women do what they do best, which is being women, and everybody else can mind their business. So let's just get a round of applause for the hair growth. Comment down below if you like these kinds of discussions, and let's get into the video. So I wanted to make this video because I'm subscribed to prettyboyxo, and I was watching one of her videos. Maybe like a month or two ago, and in the video she was addressing some of the people that were basically saying like, you've rebranded your content and like your personality is switching up and I don't like it. And in the clip where she was addressing those people, she was basically saying like, people are getting upset because I am not in a very depressed, down mental state.
I have to be more mindful to truly fulfill God's purpose for me, which I do believe is to use my platform to reach people and inspire them. But I have to do that by just being me, someone who gives off a positive vibe and aura, not by sharing personal information about my mental health or past experience for people to relate, because that's when boundaries get crossed and then we're just feeding into negativity. So basically I feel like, for example, when I started posting more about manifesting, this is when I first was like tapping in for real. Posted like getting my apartment, getting my car, and that's really, ever since then, things haven't been the same on my channel. And I feel like y'all felt, not y'all, everybody, but a few of my subscribers felt like I was distant or changing and switching up, this, that, and the third. And I took it personal, but really I've come to realize that it's because y'all felt like y'all couldn't relate to me anymore, because I was no longer talking about being depressed and all of that. I was talking about, oh y'all, I just bought myself a car, I just got an apartment. That's why that whole thing came about.
And she was just explaining how she wasn't interested in advertising to her subscribers. A part of her that likes to complain and be depressed, or at least come to that on camera. And if she is feeling that way, she doesn't like to come on camera because she would rather just, have those rough couple of, hours or days and then come back when her mood is better. And so that video pretty much inspired this video, where we're going to talk about mental health, depression, anxiety, and millennials. So I got my notes. We back in business. So let's get started. So the first point that I want to make is depression and anxiety is not a personality trait.
Okay, so this might not pertain to you in your life, but this is just some of my experience and what I've noticed other people like do. So I feel like people with depression and anxiety, just some people, not everybody, because some people's issues go a little bit deeper, but I feel like a lot of people view their depression and anxiety as like a casual attribute. Like they see it in the same manner they see being shy or outgoing, instead of something that they actively have to work on. They view it as a fixed, innate part of themselves when it's something that they should, like, you know, am I making sense? Like, I know it's hard. Like, I was depressed for like as long as I can remember, so that's all you know. It's kind of hard to break out of it. Like, that is, you feel like that's the base, like that's the foundation of who you are. Like, who am I without this? I get it, but I feel like the first step is sort of like stepping back from seeing it as a trait and seeing yourself as a depressed person and defining yourself as that, and sort of taking a step back and realizing that you're at a stage in your life that you're gonna get out of.
It's not a personality trait. It was most likely developed after a traumatic event or several smaller events which triggered psychological trauma, which affects how you operate today. Now, a lot of people just seem to think that depression and anxiety is just something that they have. Now, I'm not gonna say you can't be, clinically diagnosed with it and just that is your reality, but some people genuinely believe that you have a label stuck on your face somewhere, and once you get that label, you just have to stick with it. And I personally do not believe that. I don't think that you should, I don't want to dismiss anybody's reality, but I think that you should be more aware of how you define yourself, because words really do have power. And if you continue to say, oh, I'm depressed, then I feel like you're feeding into negativity. So although you can be diagnosed with it, or you can be feeling depressed for long periods of time, I feel like to get out of that funk, you have to stop continuing to wallow in feelings of depression or severe anxiety. The second point is there is a difference between being sad, feeling depressed, and being diagnosed with depression. Okay, so this point is directed at the people, well, let me finish the other half of it. Unfortunately, people of color have had to resort to self-diagnosing themselves because therapy is too expensive. At Joe and Kamala, if you're seeing this, add it to the reparations list. So at this point, I'm basically trying to bring awareness to the fact that because we can't throw around these words, because you had one day that wasn't too great and things didn't go your way. You can't just slap the title of I'm depressed on yourself. Like, on one hand, I understand we don't all have the funds to go to therapy or to be diagnosed, and I'm not saying just because you weren't diagnosed it means that you don't have you don't have any mental health challenges. But what I will say is I feel like a lot of people are throwing depression and anxiety words around like it's nothing, and it's really nothing to play with. And I'm pretty sure the people that have it most severely are not bragging about it.
Another part of having ADHD is hyper focusing on things. So you can focus on things. Sometimes it's just not. Real quick, this is tart.
Well, let me not say bragging. They're not advertising / presenting it as much. Like, it's definitely not something that people that have it very intensely like to discuss. So yeah, I just kind of feel like there's a difference between having a bad day and feeling sad. I feel like you can feel depressed and you can be depressed. Like, for example, after a very close family member dies, you can develop depression over severe sadness and things that you used to do before the traumatic event which happened that triggered that depression just aren't fun for you anymore, you know? So I definitely think you can develop it, you can feel depressed, but I feel like there are a lot of people misdiagnosing themselves because, unfortunately, therapy and or going to get psychologically checked out is really expensive, and a lot of people, especially in the Black community, seem to think that like mental health issues, oh, that's for white people, and I feel like that's because a lot of people like to sweep mental health under the rug, but that's another point. So the third point is that Gen Z likes to feed off of negativity. I understand about the fact that people in Gen Z specifically like to use humor to cope with pain, but there are so many memes, especially the meme pages, which are solely dedicated to making light of mental health issues. Now, I took a 3-year social media break to reevaluate why I was on social media. And I just wanted to make sure that if I'm going to be on it, that I'm going to be spending my time wisely and positively adding to each platform that I'm on. So I personally feel like there are a lot of things that go on that kind of suppress the real conversation. Like, we can have the humor and relatable memes and things, but then on the other side of the spectrum on the other side of the spectrum, I feel like we need to also have the, okay, let's laugh about it, but how are we going to eventually make progress? And I'm not saying that social media is responsible for, I don't know if curing is the right word, but I don't know if I don't think social media is responsible for helping people heal their trauma. But if we're going to, laugh about it and joke about it, we can laugh and we can joke, but there needs to come a point in time where, like, okay, let's actually discuss tools that people can use to make themselves feel like they don't have to be stuck in a rut. Fourth yeah, the next point, which is point number 4, is there is a lot of ranting and complaining about being in a certain mind state, but no talk about how you are attempting to stop being stagnant in that mind state. So I definitely used to see this a lot before I took my break. Before I took my break, I saw a lot of like Finsta pages dedicated. See, this is where the problem lies, because I feel like I should not have to like be annoyed at other people expressing themselves, so that's why I literally just deleted mine and got off, because I definitely want people to feel comfortable and have free speech, because you know, social media is a lot of people's outlet. But personally, I feel like some people just need a journal. You just need a diary. Like, because most of the things, like, if I really posted every single thing that made me upset on even like a Finsta or my story, like, that would not be a happy place. I probably wouldn't want to follow me, because the energy that I would be exuding is not healthy. So I kind of think that we should get out of this mind state of complaining and maybe just journal, write down your thoughts, because there are too many people. If you watch Messy Monday, you know, a lot of people in the public eye, and we know every bit of their business. Like Iggy Azalea, for example, took to the internet to say that the father of her child wasn't being faithful to her as a girlfriend, and he didn't sign his child's birth certificate giving him his last name and this and that and this and that. Like, I really feel like a lot of celebrities, quote unquote, are entitled to have a sense of normalcy / privacy in their lives. And I feel like it's TMI when I know every single relationship problem that you're having. Like, I shouldn't know that you guys were in an argument 2 weeks ago. Like, honestly, like Zoe always says, do not get on the internet and talk about somebody so badly, and then next week we see y'all together like nothing happened. Like that. Getting off topic, but yes, I feel like a lot of people like to stay stagnant in their mind state, and that is okay. I definitely would advocate for everybody to feel how they feel and not try to force themselves out of not having a great day. I would say feel those emotions. Your feelings are 100% valid, but there comes a point where you don't want to be in that state anymore. And I feel like we should do a better job as a collective to encourage people to not only share on social media when something is bothering them, but also have a balance. So, yeah. My last and final point is there is a stigma within the Black community that if your basic human needs are being met, food, water, and shelter, you should be fine. And if that's not the case, you are being ungrateful or disrespectful.
I know that they did the best that they could, but it was just like providing like food, shelter, water, etc., and clothes. That's not all we need as kids to like grow up. So it's like they be feeling like as long as they did that, they really couldn't have done anything else wrong. When it's just like, bruh, like I needed a hug. Like,
now I just want to shout out to Kai Foster, because Kai Foster talks about a lot of things on her channel, and this being one of them. I absolutely loved her podcast called Off Brand, and I love that she talks about taboo topics. And on one of the episodes of her podcast, she was basically talking about how when she went to her parents about her mental health, they would be referencing the fact that she has food on the table and a roof over her head, and what else could you complain about? Or you need to pray about it. And if you're a member of the Black community and you do something like this, you need to stop it. And if you see somebody in your family saying this, oh, you just need to be grateful for what you have, you need to stop it. Absolutely. Should we be grateful for what we have? Yes. But we have to get out of the mind state of the slavery mentality of that's, to me, that's very Uncle Tom-ish. Like, what do you mean? We have food, water, and shelter. What else could you complain about? Like, a lot of things. So I do not like the gaslighting. I do not like when people are made to feel like their concerns aren't valid. And I think that in the Black community, we should stop just trying, like, we shouldn't be in the mentality of, oh, we're just trying to survive. We should be attempting to thrive. And that starts with us acknowledging that everything's not perfect just because you have dinner. Everything's not perfect just because you're not homeless. Like, of course, everybody has their own struggles, but we have to stop acting like everything is perfect. There's so much trauma, and there are so many issues that we have to work on, and it starts, the first step to fixing a problem or issue is admitting that there is an issue. And until we admit that there is an issue, we're not going to get anywhere. We're just going to be ignorant and acting like everything is fine, which it never is most of the time. So this is my first video of 2021, and I definitely wanted to come out with a meaningful video that starts the year off really gearing us towards a mentality that will help us throughout the year. And I definitely think that this video is going to be setting the tone for the rest of 2021's content. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like this video if you enjoy, and comment down below your thoughts relating to mental health. I'm gonna stop talking, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.